This USFL Week 4 Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBet. Bet $50 at WynnBet and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBet. Download the WynnBet app now or visit wynnbet.com and start winning today. And make sure to download the SGPN app, your home for all of our free picks and podcasts.
Hey, this is Pac-Man Jones. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride. Yes, sir.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan. Real money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
We were dark for a second. It was scary over here. We were in the dark, all alone, and then the light shined, and we saw your face, and we knew we were headed down the right channel for sweet USFL action. I'm here.
True.
I am here in combination with Sean Green, Sports Gambling Podcast Network. We're going to give out the award. We made it to week 4.
Yes, congrats.
We get the Quarter Bowl participation award to the USFL for making it 4 weeks into a season.
This is really a lot of time when these spring leagues hit the wall. They don't put up their wall. They don't put up the 4 quarters. This is the fourth quarter for the spring league. Let's put the fingers up. Let's get through it. Joining us remotely, a man who's also powering through, Colby Dant, aka the Dantabase. What's up, Colby?
I mean, you don't like to mention playoff talk. You know, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but hey, I mean, what a great week we had a week ago. I don't know if you guys know this. I had another DFS roster that hit for cash.
Oh wow!
You know.
Cold hard cash. I do like Colby's remote setup. Very almost like whitewashed. It looks like he's calling to us from heaven.
We're not supposed to
and
say.
And of course, and Stallone kind of looks like Jesus almost. Instead of like a crown of thorns, he's just got his shaggy hair up there.
That's Rambo, Sean.
Yeah, very holy Dantabase calling in, talking USFL.
That's Rambo, Sean.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to.
John J. Rambo, guys.
All right, see, it's almost like Colby turned himself up. He's so excited to talk USFL.
Yeah, I mean USFL and Rambo. It's like
you have to know when to come.
Okay, we're talking WynnBet. Bet big, win bigger, baby. USFL lines are up and available over at WynnBet. Sometimes they pop a little late, closer to kickoff, so plenty of time to get down on those. Bet $50, win $200 in free bets over at WynnBet. Of course, if you're in a WynnBet casino state, you can get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. They also have the build your own bet feature. Of course, pretty fun. $20 free bet when you win, lose, or push a 3+ leg of the build your own bet parlay between Thursday and Saturday. Perfect for the NBA playoffs. So much to choose from over at WynnBet. Bet big, win bigger. WynnBet.com. We just gave out a ton of hockey action last night. Went 2 for 3 on my 3-team parlay. Did not hit, but other than that, you know, the Hockey Gambling Podcast guys have really been on to something. So you get in on NHL playoffs, check those guys out. Download the Hockey Gambling Podcast and plenty of betting action over on the Win Betting app. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at WynnBet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WynnBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. What was that, Ryan?
It was a grunt.
Okay, Ryan's over here grunting left and right. We're talking USFL football. We're gonna go through all our picks against the spread and then talk a little DFS. Give out a DFS lineup as well. It's always fun. But breaking news: local kid, friend of the program, Occidental's own Bryan Scott of the Philadelphia Stars, essentially announcing his retirement.
Oh no,
Colby, do you what do you make of this news?
I would assume there was maybe a broken leg or something. I don't know. I know he missed the second half of last week's game, and really, that the team could never, despite the backup playing solid, the team could never get back on the same track, and the Generals just were able to run the ball down their throat the rest of the game. But I mean, that's some substantial news. I mean, this guy was the passing leader in the whole league prior to him getting injured. If you go back to the first 2 weeks. So this is gigantic news that he's out, and I would tend to say that they are no longer favorites. If you're a Michigan Panther fan, I think, hey, you win this game and playoffs.
I don't know. I thought that guy Kukas, what's his last name?
Case Kukas from Northern Arizona, the Lumberjacks.
He didn't look horrible in relief. I mean, I think you give Kukas a week of practice, they could be onto something. And that brings us to our first game.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about practicing Kukas. That's what everyone did in 7th grade when they called in sick, right?
A lot of Kukas activity. Stars squaring off against the Panthers. Ryan, is this an updated number factoring in the Brian Scott news? I would guess it is, but I
literally grabbed this minutes before we hit the big red live button. So we are up to date.
All right. So Philadelphia Stars Panthers at a pick, total sitting at 36.5.
How do you take the Panthers?
Panthers got their first win of the season. They beat up on the Maulers. Again, I think that's more about just how bad the Maulers are. They lost 24-0. Now, Paxton Lynch was like 3 for 8. Shea Patterson, he's probably going to start. Lynch, I know, is dealing with an ankle injury. Kukas is kind of an interesting DFS play because I do think the Stars offense can still move the ball, especially with Bug Howard, that tight end. He's a fun watch. And the Panthers are coming off a big win. I feel like this is an awesome time to fade them. I think if it wasn't, I think there's a world where this. I'm thinking this line's already been adjusted with the Kukas news. You may even be able to wait till it gets closer to kickoff and people realize A, the USFL's happening. B, the Stars are starting a backup quarterback. But I still like Kukas over an injured Paxton Lynch or Shea Patterson. Give me the Stars here.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to look. I get it. The Panthers got the win, and shout out to Jeff Fisher. Their defense has given up 0 points in the second half. 3 games in, they're only averaging 9 points all game that they're giving up. But the reality is Shea Patterson and Paxton Lynch are terrible, and that pass protection's terrible. The receivers have struggled. The run game is effective, which is the only way, or the only reason I think you could make a case for the Panthers winning this game. But Kukas was 13 of 20, 65%. Actually threw the ball more downfield than Brian Scott did.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the Stars as well. Bart Andrus kind of knows what he's doing here, and that offense. I wish they would commit to the run a little more because I felt like that kind of burned them a little bit last game. The clock, they could have drowned that clock a little bit more. But I'm on the Stars as well.
Kramer, what are you doing here?
I started the handicap with how can you take the Michigan Panthers? So I'm with you guys. I'm on the Stars, and as far as a fun dark horse to win the league championship with what's going on, are we buying a little bit of the Stars at plus 850, Colby? Variance play.
I mean, we didn't talk about this real money, but the
Stars are also in the North. So just real quick, the Generals are 2-1. Stars are in second place right now at 1-2. Panthers 1-2. Maulers 0-3. So if they get a win against this Panthers, and I know Benedict Dant was already saying like, the Panthers get this win here 2-2. They might be going on a little bit of run here. I think they're in a very of the two divisions. It's obvious the North is way worse than the South.
I actually think the New Jersey Generals, if Mike Riley can get himself out of the way, running that 2 quarterback system, now I think they're the best team in the league. I really do.
7-1, they're leading their division. So
yeah.
I mean, they have the most dominant run game. They kind of run like a option read. They got two capable running backs, an explosive quarterback, and Turpin, that wide receiver that is electric. I think the Generals are the best team in the league, and it's funny. Real Money hasn't really been. I see he's not even in the shirt, not even wearing
you know, they're all right. I mean, I guess whatever. Out of character, yeah. I mean, they're one of the few teams that has a plan on offense and defense. But yeah, you know, they're not that good. Me negging them seems to be working, so I'm just gonna keep negging them to a goddamn championship.
Well, it's not working. Well, you don't really neg the Giants, so maybe that's been part of their problem.
Maybe I gotta neg them a little bit more.
It's only been compliments about DJ, aka formerly known Danny Dimes. All right, New Jersey Generals, best football team in Jersey, laying a massive number, 10 points against the Pittsburgh Maulers, Kirby Wilson's team. I mean, we identified this pretty early on that how can you, he's never coached he's never been a head coach.
He's coached Adrian Peterson. He's coached Edgerrin James.
Now
he's coached Barry Sanders. He coached Jim Brown.
I thought they'd be able to cover the 4 against the Panthers because they were looking so bad, but truly the Maulers are the bottom of the league. I expect the Generals to just run it down their throat. I mean, Colby is a guy who hates seeing the forward pass. You got to be figuring out how to get your Peacock app working for this game. I imagine they don't want to pass at all because that's the only way you let this Maulers team into the game. I think is maybe if they make a play on defense. I'm scared of the -10 just because I think this is going to be such a low scoring, ugly game. I worry it could be like 13-6 and they don't cover the number. And in general, we've seen a bunch of close games in the USFL. For the most part, they've been 1-score games. So I'm hesitant to take a 10-point road favorite here. Of course, all the games are played in Birmingham. But Colby, what's your handicap on this one?
Well, I mean, the scary thing, it's like I alluded to, like Mike Riley, Luis Perez is a decent quarterback, but he clearly is not as good as DeAndre Johnson. And
DeAndre Johnson's really good for DFS too, because he runs a ton.
Yeah, I mean he has better passing numbers than Perez too. Yeah. It throws off the chemistry of the team, in my opinion. When they trade, they're not even trading off drives; they're trading off like plays. They'll do 2 plays with one, and then 2 plays with another. Now, last week, Riley gave DeAndre Johnson the whole second half, and you saw how good that performance was. I thought, from an offensive standpoint, I thought, oh my God, they're going to destroy this league if they run this system where they run these fly sweeps to Turpin, the wideout, and they have the bowling ball running back Victor, and then Williams, the elusive running back, mixed with Johnson's athleticism. I go, they're going to win the whole league. But sometimes Mike Riley gets in the way of their progress, in my opinion. So if you want to make a case for the Maulers covering that, it's that I think if Perez plays, I could see them covering it. But I'm going to take the Generals, though. I think they learned by giving DeAndre Johnson the reins all the second half last week. I'm going to lay the 10. I don't think Pittsburgh, will have. They don't have enough offense. I mean, that's the problem with the Maulers is the Garrett Groshek struggled. Madre London's been all right. They got bad quarterback play all over their roster. So give me the Generals.
No, the Maulers seem completely lost. I'm with you. I guess you take the -10. I just think, I mean, it's crazy when you lay 10, but also like the under on the 35.5 because you're creating a very
24-3,
very tight game script. But yeah, I mean,
Sean, get out your calculator. Does 24-3 work?
Yeah,
because that's going to be the score.
I mean, it does feel like that. And to your point, DeAndre Johnson is a fun, DFS play because I think they're just gonna trot out that second half offense. Like, why wouldn't you, right?
And we'll get to this in the DFS portion, but the guy who really started to pop when that happened was Trey Williams. So I mean, again, it helps. All negs aside, it helps to have a plan. And I think the majority of these teams, their plan either sucks or their players aren't able to execute it.
Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth by those New Jersey Generals. All right, we're gonna get to the last couple games there and DFS. Before we get to that, I want to shout out Sleeper. That's right, you've been using Sleeper for a long time already for your go-to fantasy app. We use it for our SGPN Dynasty League, playing the Dant brothers. Kramer and I have a team. Dants have a team, but now they have over under. AK, you can win real money. You can win as much as 2x to 20x. Been having a ton of fun firing on these NBA 3-team player props. Highly recommend you guys doing the same. All you got to do is open up your Sleeper app, hit the over under game, and use that promo code SGP when you deposit. You get 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That is the Sleeper app, the over under game, and the promo code SGP, 100% deposit match up to $100. Get in on all that NBA action. And trade coffee. Got a nice little trade coffee going here. Did my own cold brew. You can fire that up. Trade coffee, tons and tons of different coffee from local roasters. You get freshly roasted beans from 60 of the country's best craft roasters. They start you off with the coffee quiz. Get your coffee taste buds completely dialed in. They've delivered over 5 million bags of fresh coffee with more than 750,000 positive reviews. And don't forget Mother's Day coming up. Trade subscription is a perfect gift for coffee lovers in your life. So you got a mom that's also into coffee. Get her a nice, give her a nice little coffee subscription, and you help the Sports Gambling Podcast. What more could you want? Right now, Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order plus free shipping. Just go to drinktrade.com/SGP. That's more than 40 cups of coffee for free. Get started by taking their coffee quiz at drinktrade.com/SGP and let Trade find you a coffee you'll love. Drinktrade.com/SGP for $30 off. Tampa Bay Bandits. You know, Bandits came into this USFL, a lot of hype, preseason favorites, still plus 450 to win it all, going up against the Birmingham Stallions. Stallions plus 250. They do appear to have a real home field advantage. And the Bandits 2-1, although they're at third place in the South because of the negative 16-point differential. For the Bandits there, Jordan Tamu looked a little bit better last game. He had been struggling, came into the season with a lot of hype. Totals up to 42.5, and the Stallions are actually 3.5 point favorites. I mean, the Stallions quarterback, they won the game throwing for 39.5% in a win.
That's impressive.
Which kind of shows you the Stallions team. They've put up 83 points, only allowed 65. What's your take on this game, Colby? I kind of like the Bandits catching plus 3.5, just because I think Tamu looked better, and they seem to figure out a little bit as far as. I don't know. Their offense seemed pretty lost early on. I think they've figured something out here. But what are you doing?
I mean, I'm going with the Stallions. They got the home crowd. Jamar Smith's been a part of Skip Holtz's offense for 5 or 6 years now. And yes, he threw a bad percentage, but that was against the league's top-rated defense. Prior to that, that's the New Orleans Breakers. Prior to those two games, he looked pretty good. Yeah. And Tampa Bay is kind of fool's gold to me. I mean, I thought they kind of stole that win against Houston.
Houston fortunate to get the win.
If you track all three Gamblers games, and I know we're gonna be talking about the Gamblers in a second, but they have been terrible in the second half. They've made terrible halftime adjustments. Bandits stole that one. I thought the Gamblers were clearly the better team if you watch that game. But Tamu, to me, he did look a little bit better, but at the same time, like, it just still doesn't look comfortable in that offense to me. And I just think Stallions are kind of rolling, and I think the home crowd does make a difference. I'm going to lay the points with the Stallions.
$10 to get you in the building. $25 if you want the premier experience.
Was that Blob? You get to meet Blob?
Oh God!
Why are more people not there? $10? What else you doing?
In Birmingham.
What else?
There's
doing?
not a lot. Well, yeah.
What can you do for $10? You can't go to a movie for $10.
You know what they need to do that they don't do
in Birmingham? You might be able to.
They need to do those like minor league baseball, like 50-cent
beer night.
Yeah. They should do that because
they need to offer cheap beer. I mean, we need fans wasted out of their mind, completely hammered. you can't even, in the XFL, they got a beer snake going because you couldn't get a beer snake going. You got one row back and then the beer snake is dead because there's not a third row.
But it seems like they expected that, though. I read the Fox Sports president saying that, we expected everyone but Birmingham to have, terrible numbers from a fan attendance standpoint. So they did expect it from what he says and it's been a success based on what he said. Now, of course, he's going to say that.
Yeah, that'd be like the guy who provoked Tyson on the fight. Like, yeah, I did expect to get my ass kicked. Yep, that's what I was looking to. It's still not a good look. I mean, we all saw this coming.
Yeah, they do. I love how Colby's got the talking
let's
points.
be honest. How many?
It is very political.
Going to be in Birmingham.
These spring football guys, they drank the party juice early on.
I feel like we're talking to Joe Theismann about the Commanders. He's
just
laying
give it a
out
chance.
Walk around the kitchen.
Sean, did you know they actually expected this to suck really hard? So it's totally okay.
I was on the Sorry We Love Football podcast, a fun podcast. Check those guys out. And we were joking that they're the Washington Commandments, and that they're so thou shalt not win the NFC East, and that their new mascot should be Tabby the Tablet, a tablet that walks around that has the 10 Commandments written on it.
Whoa! Has that hit the airwaves yet? Yeah, someone's getting canceled.
No, people, if you're making fun of the Washington Commandments, you're all right. Ryan, break the tie because I'm going to stick with the Bandits at +3.5. I mean, I get Colby's points. I think the Bandits are, if you give them 3.5, they might hang around and get this, get this cover. I'm
kind of with Colby. I think they're a little fraudulent, and this Birmingham team, like the New Jersey Generals, they tend to have a plan. I mean, what do the two teams have in common, Colby?
They got experienced quarterback play, I guess.
Yeah, they're at their best when their quarterback's moving a little bit.
Yeah.
And it seems like more than the other teams, it's part of the plan, not like an accident that happens because their offensive line sucks. So as much as I hate to admit it, ECU's finest, he's doing something, Colby. He might finally get a championship of some sort. They're the favorites right now, the co-favorites with the Breakers.
Do not want any part of the Stallions or the Breakers at +250 because we're gonna get to the playoffs. But I think it's two teams from each division.
But I think there's a pretty big gap between Birmingham and Tampa Bay. To Colby's point, I think Tampa Bay is still fraudulent, living off of preseason projections.
Well, yeah, I don't like their future stuff, but at 3.5, I think it's interesting. The Stars at 850 is a good play. Now, our boy Bryan Scott getting knocked out for the season is a game changer, but I still think they have enough around them.
My take on that is if
Nick Foles is available. Philadelphia Stars.
Ooh.
Nick Foles is available.
Generals at 700 is easy. Yeah. Easy cash.
I'm actually
that's surprising as well. I mean, my hated team of the New Jersey Generals, longtime rivalry, dating all the way back to 3 weeks ago. I think
to Donald Trump, right?
Yeah. He did kill the USFL. Check out that documentary, fun watch. But yeah, the Generals at 7-1. They're
the
first place
path, right?
Yeah, they're in the shittiest division.
They have the best offense, I think, too, and it's going to be all said and done. I mean, maybe you can make a case for Birmingham and New Orleans, but I do think when you have a league, that does have pretty bad quarterback play, running the ball and controlling the line of scrimmage is very essential, and that's what the Generals do. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, I just found an 8-1. Hold on, what's an appropriate amount of money to put on a USFL future?
4 units.
4 units.
Fire.
500 to win 4,000.
Yes.
Is that too much?
Let's do it.
No.
Let's do it.
I have
Colby's chipping in.
I'm gonna do
see you at the finish line.
$512.71 to win $4,101.69. It's a sign.
Nice.
All right. Golly. I went over the limit. 500 to win 4,000 on the New Jersey Generals.
Last game of the slate, and then we'll get to our DFS lineups. The Houston Gamblers, again, 10-1 to win it all. Square off against the Breakers, coming off their first loss of the season. Slaughter, I thought, still looked pretty good. Had a couple that touchdown pass, he really threaded a needle there. And the Gamblers are playing with fire. Their defense is just really bad. Thorson has been struggling at times, and they brought in that who's a backup quarterback that's played a little bit for them, Colby.
Kenji Bahar, but he got injured.
Yeah, so he's out, so they don't have anyone to go from Thorson. Is my point. The number is a little crooked here at -5, but I'll still take it because I do think the Breakers are one of the better offenses in the league. So I'll take New Orleans -5. Colby.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was all over the Stallions beating the Breakers. That was a money line play of mine from a week ago because the Breakers were coming off that huge win against the Bandits. They come back down to life. Slaughter Sundays will be in effect, and the Gamblers terrible. All 3 games at halftime adjustments. They do have a lawn chair at quarterback and Clayton Thorson, a complete lawn chair. So I give me the Breakers all day. I think they might win big.
What do we do? See, I have a Houston Roughnecks sweatshirt on right now, and I think I don't think I can root for 2 teams from the same city in different spring leagues. And what did I get back on the wagon last week? Fading Kevin Sumlin.
Yeah. I did tweet out a video.
He somehow covered though. What a bullshit.
I did tweet out. I don't know if you saw about Kurt Warner. The whole Ryan Tannehill saying he's not going to mentor young quarterbacks. Kurt Warner said he's happy to mentor any young quarterback looking for some guidance. And so I took a video of me rocking a Gambler's helmet, kind of going through my warm up. And I tweeted out the video. First off, Kurt Warner's DMs are not open. So how am I going to slide in there, Kurt? And secondly, no response yet from Kurt Warner. So if you could please go to @SeanTGreen, tag, retweet, reach out, please let Kurt know I'm open. I want to know. I want to be mentored. Please, Kurt.
Fucking ambulance chaser, Kurt Warner.
What? How's that chasing an ambulance?
Trying to get some good social karma.
Cloud chaser, Ryan.
But what?
That's ambulance chaser is a personal injury lawyer.
Yeah. And in this case, the accident was Ryan Tannehill speaking to the public.
All right.
And he saw an opportunity to be like, "Hey, look at me. I'm good." No, you're not. That movie you allowed to be made of yourself.
I'm the ultimate American underdog. It's one thing to take a bag boy like Kirk Cousins or Kurt Warner. It's one thing to take a bag boy like Kurt Warner, turn him into a Super Bowl winner, but the ultimate American underdog, Kurt Warner, would be to take me, Sean Green, podcast host, into a Super Bowl champion. I'm laying down the gauntlet.
Now, do you guys think Kurt Warner's seeing therapy after watching that film?
I mean, we don't need to. Colby's the film critic here, but
I'll let a Hall of Famer like Kurt give me the critiques, but
I mean, honestly though, if you to be a grown ass man and to allow that movie to be made of you, doesn't wear the pants. We know that. Give me the Breakers.
All right, clean. I'm worried I'm sharing too many picks with Kramer. It's not a good sign.
What do you mean? We had the same record last week, bitch.
Last week, yeah, but you're 4-8 overall. I'm 7-5. Still have not hit my lock. Still have not hit my lock yet. I am hitting dogs at 67%. So is Colby. Guys, we are combined 1-8 as a show on locks.
We can do better.
We can do better. Statistically, we have to do better. Time for the lock and the dog. And then we'll get to our DFS lineups. Kramer, I'll you know what? We're gonna make Colby.
I'm ready.
Go first.
I'm ready. No, you want to?
We need to switch up the lock mojo. Colby, go first. What do you got? Lock and dog.
I'm gonna lock up the Generals -10.
Okay.
And the dog. Well, I guess I don't have a dog unless it's the star, or if the stars, if that.
Play the small dog sound effect, please. That's -110, Colby. That's not a dog.
I'm trying to look. I went chalky. Let's do.
You can parlay something.
Yeah, let's go. Let's parlay the stars. to win, minus 110, and the Breakers -5. And you know what? Let's do a third one in there. Let's throw.
That's where you get in trouble.
Stallions -3.5.
All right, very easy for me. Lock the Stars against the Panthers. Nice bounce back opportunity for the Stars and for my dog. The Tampa Bay Bandits get the outright victory over the Stallions. Tampa Bay 155 on the money line. This is the USFL. We're not going to have undefeated teams. This is anything goes. This is razzle dazzle, 3-point trick plays.
We might actually have undefeated teams.
Kramer, lock and dog.
Lock. Unfortunately, I'm going to copy. Actually, no. Negging them has been yeah. Let's take the Generals. They have a plan, and I think you're going to see a single quarterback approach. Sources close to the situation suggest maybe we'll see a single quarterback approach. Dog, I'll bring you something juicy because the sharps, Colby, myself, not you. Well, we took all the favorites this week, Colby. You know what you do if you money line those together?
All 4 favorites.
All 4. You know what you get? Just money line parlay plus 430.
What?
Let's fucking go. You want a piece of that?
No.
That's great.
Yeah, Colby's in on that.
That's all you need to know. Are you sure you don't want to put all 4 unders in there as well?
Oh, I was going to ask you guys.
Unders are what? 8 and 4 this season,
8 and 4. Right? What game is what game screws the under? Because every week there's been at least one.
I would say it's probably going to be like Bandits Stallions. The over's going to hit.
I think that Gamblers Breakers game is bound.
Yeah,
to
I think both those ones would be the ones you circle.
Yeah,
I think the Breakers play enough defense.
That's true.
I'll circle the Stallions game as well. I think all the other. I think the Generals. To Sean's earlier point, Generals is a smash the Generals in the under because I do think they win handily, and it's not going to be fun. 27-3. I'm up in the score. 27.
Ryan, you know what?
DFS.
I feel great. You know why?
Oh.
Athletic Greens, baby.
Me too.
Really helped me with my gut health, more energy, optimized immune system because all that AG1. And it's a great start to your day. Just get the little shaker there, hit it with 8 ounces of water, chug that thing down. Tastes good. Kramer, talk to the people about Athletic Greens.
I mean, the Soy Boy loves it. Ryan, Real Money, Kramer loves it. Again, what are we now? Are we day like 22? We're pretty deep into this thing. Like I'm having to dig near the bottom of the jar. You know, this is how they get us.
Athletic Greens.
This is how they get us. They're gonna have to the refills coming, but the adaptogens. I don't know. I just
75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens.
I'm not a doctor, but I do feel better.
Better sleep quality. I think my sleep's been firing on all cylinders. 7,000 5-star reviews, and they make it easy. Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you got to do is go to athleticgreens.com/SGP. That's athleticgreens.com/SGP. Ryan, and we got our health right, but what about our internet health? We got that locked down as well with IP Vanish. That's right. IP Vanish, the VPN we know, the VPN we trust, the VPN we use to help God's eye seeing it all. You can use IP Vanish on your Fire Stick or streaming device. Cool thing about IP Vanish is you can use it on unlimited devices. It will not slow you down. And they're giving you 70% off their yearly plan and a 30-day money back guarantee. You cannot go wrong. 30-day money back guarantee, 70% off. All you got to do is go to ipvanish.com/SGP. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. Time for DFS, baby. I did not put this lineup together, but I do think a Stars lineup based around couscous.
I fucking love couscous.
Couscous is underrated.
Shout out to couscous.
I feel like I don't have enough couscous in my life, and my wife's a vegetarian.
Yeah, you should have that shit.
I know.
Regular.
It's not in the rotation, but Kook he's a fun guy, and then obviously DeAndre Johnson too. Assuming Ryan, as you and Colby think they're going to just roll with Johnson at 8,800. I mean, I get it. He's going against this Maulers defense. But they should just be able to run all over them. I did not go with either of those quarterbacks. I went back to my boy Kyle Sloter.
Oh wow,
10,200. But both those other guys are on my list, and I might have dual lineups.
5-figure.
I got to get my optimizer fired up.
Breaking news: someone smudged the name when they wrote it. It's actually Caucus.
Okay,
it's not 2 O's. There's a C there. Yeah, I mean, I think at this point you got to be playing the quarterbacks that run, or Sloter, right?
Yeah,
I mean, so yeah, I went Jamar Smith, and by the way, this lineup is organically and sustainably sourced from Justin Mark. Shout out Justin Mark and all the USFL content over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Jamar Smith, again, what does Birmingham have, Colby? A plan, and what's part of that plan? Quarterback moving on the ground. What do the nerds say in the spreadsheets about quarterbacks that run? It gives you a high floor and it gives you an unattainable ceiling for the pocket guys, especially in a spring league where half these guys can't fucking throw. I mean, the fact that this dude puts up, I'm going to pull up his game log, 18, 19, and 21. And you know what his year completion percentage is? 51%. That's beautiful, Colby. That's football.
That is.
That's this guy's putting up 20 fantasy points a week, and he's flipping a coin every time he throws a football. Jamar Smith, 9,500. Let's go.
There are many ways to win a football game. All right, many ways. And look, DeAndre Johnson. Yeah. Look, I didn't roster him for 1 week, and that was week 2, and I didn't win money. Week 1, I win money. Week 3, I win money. When DeAndre Johnson touches the ball, good things happen. The guy was 6 of 8, only 8 passes, 130 yards. But that's the beauty of it, is when they go play action, the receivers are wide open because the run game is so dominant. 11 for 91 he had on the ground and a touchdown. The only scary thing here is that they could be up enough points where they actually bench him.
I think you'll see, but he can put this up in 2.5 quarters.
Yeah.
He's because he'll score 1 on the ground, 1 through the air, and then boom. He would be if I was playing multiple lineups, which I'm worried if I play multiple lineups, there's so few contests out there. I don't want to take all the seats from everyone. I mean, I'm seeing like the biggest contest is now only like 7,000 people. So I want to make sure everyone has a chance. So maybe I'll only play.
Very noble of you, Ryan.
But if I was gonna play a second lineup, I like the Generals general as my general.
For my running back, Mark Thompson, Houston Gamblers. I mean, he's leading the league in rush yards, and he's only $6,200. You have to play a running back coming off a massive game, 24-147, and a receiving touchdown as well, rushing touchdown, but he also caught 1 ball and for 10 yards. So it's like, this guy is a big part of their offense. I don't see them getting away from him. 6,200, considering you have to play a running back. I don't know how he's not more expensive. So Mark Thompson all day.
They haven't adjusted still, Sean. I feel like if they have, it
is slow. Yeah. It's very weird.
Tough
I have Thompson in the flex. I have him every week. I thought he was the best running back in the league each and every week. I actually think this guy could actually be an NFL player. This is one where I could say, okay, I could see him on an NFL roster. This guy's powerful. Kind of reminds me of Adrian Peterson in a way. So 6,200. I know he's going up against the Breakers defense, which scares me a little bit. The Breakers run defense has been really good.
Pretty good.
But Clayton Thorson's a lawn chair. Someone's got to be able to move the ball here. Thompson, 6,200. Got to do it.
I'm going back to that Jersey team because, like I told you earlier, Trey Williams really went off when it became about bringing in the mobile quarterback and DeAndre Johnson. So I'm going to play him 7,400 for the Generals against the Maulers. Sean, who's your first wide receiver?
Again, this guy's just getting an insane amount of targets. 13 targets, only 6 catches, but definitely has room for improvement. In that efficiency, even without that, still put up 19 fantasy points. Bolden Jr., this guy for the Stallions at 9,800. He's one of the best receivers in the league points wise. So I'm all over him. I got a mini Birmingham Tampa Bay game stack going, and he's part of that. Colby, what do you got?
I went with Osiris Mitchell. He had a quiet game a week ago, but Tampa Bay's defense, despite Pepper Johnson being the defensive coordinator there, I know Real Money Kramer, big Pepper Johnson guy, but
Love Pepper.
Osiris Mitchell had a quiet day. I expect him to bounce back against, the Breakers defense is legit. Tampa Bay's is not. So give me Osiris Mitchell, 8,700, former Mississippi State wideout, Hail State.
Hail State. Yeah, I was on Bolden as well. That's my stack with Jamar Smith. What do you think? Would you double stack a guy like Jamar Smith, a guy like DeAndre Johnson? You just a single stack and maybe play the running back.
I'm double stacking Sloter, but I don't think with
a different kind of
I don't think with those running quarterbacks you double stack them. I think you keep it single.
Colby,
stack.
thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think I completely agree with what you're saying. I don't think you double stack.
Okay, it's settled.
Single stack. And speaking of my double stack, the first guy in my double stack, surprised he's only $5,300, and that is Sal Cannella. Doesn't sound like a USFL receiver, but he's a decent part of the Breakers offense. 10 targets, 6 catches. Hasn't had a touchdown yet. I feel like this guy is due. It seems like he's getting more and more involved in the offense. So I like him. He's their tight end for the Breakers. So yeah, toss me Sal Cannella.
Sounds like a guy you send to go get you a meatball sandwich.
Oh yeah, he's got the best gyros around. A Sal Cannella, or maybe a cannoli. That's what I hear. Colby, what do you got?
My second wideout. I'm going to take a shot. I originally was thinking Jordan Sewell, but I decided to stray from the path because he's been a solid guy for me. But the Jeff Fisher's defensive backs are normally coached pretty well, so I went with Cavante Turpin, who's part of this Wildcat offense that the New Jersey Generals run. He had, I think, over 60 yards receiving, and then, like I said, they run a lot of jet sweeps to him. So at 7,300, give me Cavante Turpin. This guy was a beast at TCU.
Sal Cannella also sounds like something you get if you eat uncooked eggs. Like maybe Colby has Sal Cannella. What do you got? What do you got for your receiver tight end, Kramer?
I did want to bring it back. So, and I kind of did spend money this week, so I was scraping a little bit, AKA J Mark. Shout out to all his content, sportsgamblingpodcast.com. I traded a certain amount of plugs for this work. So, so I went with Vinny Papale. Why not? Let's talk about it,
he
Sean.
is fun.
You love the guy, you love the name, you love what he represents to the city of Philadelphia. And I've been told a guy named Lasley's been cut, which means more opportunities. Already getting more targets week over week. 6 last, and he's only 3,200. Give me. Do you think he goes by Vinny just to be different?
Probably, yeah. You got to mix it up.
He's probably friends with Sal Cannella.
Johnny Dixon is
Vinny Papale's questionable with Sal Cannella.
Spinning the can all night. Johnny Dixon's my other Breakers receiver, $7,300. And I mean, coming off a massive game, and that's what you're worried about. But he's clearly Sloter's number one guy, coming off a 2 touchdown, 7 catch, 86-yard game. But he's got 3 touchdowns on the season. I don't see why he wouldn't be the main target as well against this Gamblers defense, which has really shown to be one of the worst in the league. So I'm just loading up in this game. Colby, what do you got for your first flex spot?
I'm still going heavy on the running back spot, and this one surprised me last week, but with them winning their first game of the season, Reggie Corbin for the Michigan Panthers, we saw the Stars are kind of a finesse team. When the Generals ran it down their throat, they didn't really have an answer. I expect Jeff Fisher to enhance that, especially knowing Shea Patterson's their quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think our guy Reggie Corbin. Now I was surprised that Corbin got 20 rushes because I thought Scarlett and Scott were kind of the starters there. But he got 20 rushes, 133 yards and a touchdown. He had a 64-yard touchdown. I think he solidified himself that starting spot. So give me Reggie Corbin at 3,500 against the Michigan Panthers.
Kramer.
First flex, I think the data probably agrees. I think the database might have been ahead of the curve here with the adding, maybe a little bit more emphasis to the running back position and the floors. What the floor brings you in spring football product. I'm on. I like the defense stacked with a little bit of my running back. So teaser alert. I'm playing the Breakers defense. Give me TJ Logan. I know he's questionable. We can talk about a pivot opportunity.
Some late swaps.
But I'm going to drop him in here. I like the opportunity against that Gamblers defense. And I especially like just the structure of a lineup that lets me stack the running back with the defense. So 7,500. Give me Logan.
All right. For my second flex, had a big game. Maybe I'm heat chasing a little bit here, but 6 for 6 catches on 6 targets, highly efficient. And, Tampa Bay, they had a nice 27-26 win, and this guy was a big part of it. 6 catches, 124 yards. Why would you not get Derek Dillon more involved for the Tampa Bay Bandits? He had 6 of his 7 catches this season, in that game. So why would he not be involved again against the Stallions? Only $5,000. I don't think they've adjusted their pricing enough on this. So yeah, I'm all in on Dillon. Colby?
Well, I mentioned Mark Thompson. I think is the best running back in the league, and quickly emerging what I think could be the second best, or potentially even better than Thompson by the end of the season, is Trey Williams, running back for the Generals. This guy had 19 rushes, 110 yards, and he also had 4 catches for 44 yards. He's electric. This ground attack is something to be reckoned with, and really the only concern is that they seem to give it to this the other running back Victor in the red zone. But I still think over 100-yard rushing and then 4 catches, 44 yards, that'll still get you enough points. Maybe he breaks one. Trey Williams at 7,400.
Colby's going to pretend like I didn't call out Trey Williams 15 minutes ago with a lot of that same information, just like I'm going to call out Mark Thompson right now.
Let's go.
Like Colby did 15 minutes ago.
No, I had Mark Thompson.
Oh, okay.
Me too.
No,
We all
Yeah,
do.
Colby did as well.
I listened to the guest. It's Mark Thompson, again, 6,200, not a lot to add other than, it's a volume play. I'm doing a rare running back stack and throwing in one of the defenses. I don't know if it's advisable. I'm testing out a new strategy this week, Sean. Just twisting the Rubik's Cube a different way,
I'm going for my defense. I don't know why. My only hesitation is that everyone's going to have this defense, but New Jersey Generals, $5,000 at the Maulers. The Maulers are horrible. All in on against Pitt. You could talk me into.
I love the Trey Williams Generals defense stack.
Yeah.
I also like the idea of playing.
You could talk me into playing the Stars defense at 3,900 just because you're going up against the Panthers. Either an injured Paxton Lynch or Shea Patterson, but at 3,900. But I have the money to spend. Why not spend it on the Generals defense? Colby, what'd you do?
I went with the Stars defense because unfortunately in our fantasy football league, I had the last pick, so I was stuck with Shea Patterson. So I've had a chance to watch, really key in on how bad he is. So, there's going to be a lot of 50-50 balls that could get picked. I understand the fact that their offense will probably score more than the Maulers just because of their run game, but I don't even think that's a for sure thing. I'm going to take the Stars at 3,900. A defensive touchdown is going to happen.
Breakers. The Gamblers could. Maybe the Gamblers score a little bit, but like we were discussing, I don't think this is a game that's going to flirt with the over. So I'll take one of the defenses. I'll take the better defense. The Breakers.
We have a shout out to the Arden podcast. They are a Twitter handle that just responded to our show here. They are the only Michigan Panthers podcast recorded in a bar, hosted by Jake and Patrick. Episodes released weekly. #Let's Hunt. #The Fisher Effect. So they say they're chiming in. Don't fault people for picking the Stars, but Panthers match up really well with their D, and Panthers pass defense will get their first true test. But Stars are allowing opponents 186 yards per game on the ground. Yeah, that is a concern. The Stars rush defense against them. So that'll be a fun Friday night matchup.
Why don't we
Corbin play?
Why don't we have a Michigan Panthers podcast?
Yeah, come on.
Now, this is embarrassing.
Czar of USFL content. Why do we just have one about USFL gambling?
That's what I'm saying, man. When they go back to their cities, you're going to see a big turnout in Detroit because, well, the Lions don't have any championships. The Panthers have a championship back in 1983, Sean.
The tickets are $10 and no one's going.
In Birmingham.
In Birmingham. But the Birmingham fans are out there. Let's go. Make sure to check out Colby Dant on the USFL Gambling Podcast. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say people go to fucking the desert to watch spring training. Why aren't they going to Birmingham to watch spring football?
Well, maybe we got to go.
Have you seen airline prices? Shit, I was trying to go see my mom for Mother's Day, and it was like $1,000 to fly on what's normally like $300.
Well, Colby, send her that Trade Coffee subscription.
Yeah, come on. You don't need it. That's way cheaper.
Drinktrade.com/SGP.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Make sure you check out the USFL Gambling Podcast, going all in on the USFL season with Colby Dant. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He is Ryan.
Does it work if we recycle the all rise for the New Jersey Generals?
Kramer, let it ride.